Welcome back to the other football show here on Extra Sports 1300. A few weeks ago, we brought you the story of Victor Rolf, who is playing soccer professionally over in Germany. He is not yet 20 years old and has pursued his dream of playing soccer overseas. And that's a great story, but that's nothing compared to the one we're about to bring you with our next guest. He is on his way to becoming the next Bobby Wood or Christian Pulisic, American succeeding over in Germany, but he can't even drive yet. Grayson Dettoni is my guest. Grayson, how are you?
Good, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, 11 years old. Is this year 2 of you being over in Germany?
Yeah, this is my second year.
When did you know that you wanted to pursue soccer as a career?
Well, actually, for my whole life, ever since I've been starting to play soccer, I've actually always wanted to be a professional. So, yeah.
So you grew up, you're still growing up, but you're from San Diego, correct?
Yeah.
How do you go from San Diego to Munich?
Well, actually, my dad, his job actually took us here. And
Okay.
then I just tried out for a German team here, and they just wanted me. So, yeah, I went to that team.
Let me now bring in Grayson's mother, Erin. So, Erin, work took you guys over to Germany, and obviously you knew that you wanted Grayson to play soccer, but he's playing at a level that would be above just your run-of-the-mill, everyday youth rec league over in San Diego, right?
Yeah, it's right. And then, we came over here. We found out that he was going to be transferred over here and starting his own company here. And as you know, with FIFA rules and stuff, you got to be over here doing something other than just coming over to play football under 16. So that was a really cool thing for us, knowing that we'd always wanted to come over here with the kids, knowing that it's just an added benefit for Grayson to get experience over here playing football. And, it took a while. We came over here March 2 years ago, and my husband actually just kind of cold called. Bayern called 1860. Bayern said, if he's good enough, when you guys get to Munich, we'll come find you.
Right.
And that's cool. Okay. Then we tried 1860, and they were just awesome. They were like, why don't you kind of put a CV, a resume together for us? And we did that. And we came over here, and he did a trial with them for about a week and a half. And, it's really different at that high of level. They don't just say, hey, you've made the team, congratulations, high five. It's, well, that was good. Here are some things that we really love about your son. Here are some things that he needs to still work on. And why don't you, we're inviting him back to come and train with us the month of June. So we sort of had to figure out when the best time would be to move over here to Munich. And we thought, well, it's going to have to be June 1 because they've invited him back, and that's when we're going to move. So we got everything going, and he came over here in June, immediately started training with them. And the very first weekend that we were here, they called him up, very short notice. I think it was maybe a Thursday night or Friday morning, and said, hey, we've got a player who is sick, and we're going up to Frankfurt. We're taking the train up to Frankfurt, and we want Grayson to play in the tournament this weekend. And, my husband and I looked at each other, and we thought, here we go. I guess,
Yeah.
this is what we're signing up for.
Right.
So Grayson, we literally went to the train station, as you can imagine, this 9-year-old, 10-year-old boy, dropping him off with the trainers and the rest of the team at the Hauptbahnhof train station, and waved at him and said, goodbye, good luck, we love you, and, we'll see you up there. And anyways, he did really well at the tournament. They played all the big guys up there from around Germany and also some international teams. And he I guess it was sort of a rite of passage, and he made the team after the weekend.
So explain a little bit further what this means. So for lack of a better phrase, Grayson is property of 1860 Munich, and if things progress, then they'll have the right of first refusal, I suppose, to potentially sign him to a professional deal?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of boys coming and boys going at this age here in Munich. It's a huge, as you can imagine, a huge soccer town, and it's a small village. So everyone knows everybody, and they're coming and going. And, you know, a lot of boys will stay and move through the ranks. But I would say, you know, 16, 17, 18, you know, that's when you're signing a contract, hopefully. I mean, that's kind of the goal of all these guys, sign a contract at 16, 17, and then see if you can make the first team, you know.
Right.
And if you don't make the first team, you know, a lot of these guys, as far as education is concerned, you know, there's a real hierarchical educational system here in Germany where the highest, you know, kind of the middle of the road school is called a Realschule, and that is where a lot of athletes will go because it's less grueling. It's still a very, very, especially in Bayern, the state of Bayern where we are is the most difficult German educational system. So they will choose to go to this Realschule where they can, it's a little easier. But all these guys are like, if I can just, you know, it's very important in the German system to graduate with some diploma. I mean, they're very, very strict about it. So a lot of these guys are just kind of pushing to get whatever kind of diploma to then see if they make the first team. And if they don't make the first team, they'll take a year where they're just maybe getting a job or you know, whatever, and just training constantly, trying to make the first team, trying to make the cut. You know, there are other boys, a smaller amount of boys who are in the top class of education, which would be the gymnasium. And that is, it's if you study and you work and you get a Abitur in the gymnasium, then it's basically like you've finished maybe 1 or 2 years of college already. It's very grueling. And so a lot of these athletes just can't do it. I mean, they're smart guys. They've got it all, but it's just with their training regimen, they just can't do it.
One thing that I find interesting about what you just said there was in America, having athletic talent can get you educational opportunities that maybe you don't get otherwise if you weren't good at sports. Over in Germany, it seems like at the very least the things go hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you nailed it. I mean, that's the difference for sure. Grayson is going to a gymnasium, which is the highest level, and you will find those few guys who can do it. You know, it's a real balancing act, but you know, we really are trying to instill in Grayson that football is important, but your education is number one. You know, if you become a professional someday, and you play for a few years, what if you get injured? You know, then what?
Right.
So always having that, you know, gosh, if he wanted to go back to the States too, it'd be awesome there too. You know, so sky's the limit for him. We feel.
Grayson and Erin Dettoni joining us here on the Other Football Show. So, Grayson, if I can bring you back on, can you take us through a typical day for you balancing school and your budding soccer career?
I wake up at 7:10, and then I go eat breakfast. I brush my teeth, get my clothes on, and then I go to school about 8 o'clock. And I do my day at school. And after school, I come back home. I change my jacket, get a snack, something to eat, and then run out the door. And we either take the tram, like public transportation, or we just drive over there. And then I have training. We meet in the locker room, and we just kind of hang out in the locker room. And then we have training, and till 7:30, and then we take showers, and then we come home and do homework, and yeah, that's kind of like a day.
In your second year over there in Germany, do you feel like that you have acclimated yourself well? How are you adjusting over there?
I mean, for football, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I grow good relationships with all the boys, and after a year or two, you get like good friends and stuff. But in school, German is still really, really hard. I mean, even after 2 years in school, it's really hard. Like writing stories and tests, and it's in German. It's really, really hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at least I go to a bilingual school, like
Oh,
so
okay.
half English, half German. So half like some of the lessons are English, but most of them are German.
How good is your German?
It's pretty good. I mean,
It's very good. He's fluent. Everyone asks him, how is his German so great? And even he had a trainer when he first started this year. He had a trainer who said, well, your parents, your mom and dad are Americans, but you're not American, right? Because even his accent is spot on. So, and I equate that with it's football. So whenever I say it to people, he learned it because he really was thrown into the den of lions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have to learn it.
Yeah, like on my first training with 1860, like on the New Year, they just came up to me and said, "We're not going to speak English to you, so just get used to it. We're just going to speak German." That's basically what they said.
Wow.
And then now the coaches never speak English to me.
Sometimes, Grayson, was it a good thing not knowing German, because if they would yell at you, then you wouldn't know what they were saying, and now you do. So there's a trade-off, right? You understand more, but sometimes you don't want to understand what the coaches are yelling at you. Have you been able to go to any professional soccer matches over there? Do you go to the 1860 first team games?
Yeah, so actually on our team we get 2 free tickets
To all the home games.
to all the home games in the Alliance Arena. And yeah, so me and my mom can go, or me and my dad, we can just go watch the game. So, but I go to a lot of games.
Who's your favorite player to watch over there?
I don't really have exactly a really favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, I like Pulisic because he's American and
Right.
he also plays for Dortmund. But yeah.
I'm sure as people are listening to this, they want to make sure that they follow you. So how does your seasons work out there? Are you just starting up, or are you in the middle of your season? How do things work over there?
Well, we're kind of like in the middle, I would say. We just finished our fall season with the cold winter weather, and now we're back on the field. So, yeah, and this weekend we have 2 matches. One's a friendly and one's down in Innsbruck, which is pretty like an hour and a half away. And yeah, we usually have a game or a couple games or a tournament on the weekends. And
your season ends. I think their season typically ends at the end of June. And then if there are players who are leaving, players who are coming, they sort of exit the stage at that point, and then the new season begins in the middle of July.
Okay.
And they'll train for a couple of weeks, those last 2 weeks of July, and then it'll be summer break. But these boys only have 2 weeks, typically only 2 weeks off for summer break. And then they're back at training the middle of August with the new team, new trainers, new team, and they'll go to a training camp for a week, in Italy or Austria or Spain or wherever, just like the pros. I mean, these guys are treated like professionals over here, which is pretty awesome. It kind of gives, you go through it, I think, as a child, and then as a teen and as a young adult, and you go, okay, they kind of give you a good picture of, can you do this? Like, do you want this?
Yeah.
Can you handle this? It's. I always tell people, in the States, people are really, the appeal to it is it's sort of this Hollywood glamorous thing to come over to Europe to play, and it is. And you have those moments where you go, oh my gosh, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And then you have the moments where you go, oh man, this is so hard. Like, can I do this? This is really hard. This is tough. So, anyways, that's about how their season goes.
Well, Grayson, it was great talking to you, buddy. It's really awesome what you're doing over there. You got a great mom as well that's supporting you, so keep up the good work. We'll definitely keep in touch, and Guten Tag. That's the extent of my German.
Thank you so much.
Grayson Dettoni and his mother, Erin, joining us here on the Other Football Show, just 11 years old, and he's pursuing his dream of playing professional soccer and doing it in Germany, no less, which is pretty cool. Reminder, if you would like to get a taste of what Grayson and his mom experience over there in Germany, Justin Rose has the German football experience. You can log on to jjrconsulting.net and find out more about that. It's a great opportunity, not just to get a taste of soccer, but a taste of culture over in Germany.